back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Ha! Got him. That's what this motherfucking Antonio dude is feeling about Dana White. Dana White has officially got himself entered into the, well, he didn't get himself entered, but his comments have got the guy that is suing Michael Bisping, 24-Hour Fitness, and the UFC to add Dana White to the lawsuit. Dana White called the guy like a typical pussy at the gym. One thing I gotta say before I read what they're saying in the lawsuit is, if you read Dana White's comments or if you listen to Dana White's comments, he didn't know anything about this case yet. The interviewer asked him, hey, so have you heard about this gym rat suing Michael Bisping? And Dana White said, I've still got to talk to Bisping, but I'm sure it's just a typical pussy at the gym. You know, he probably got slick. Dana White, from the way he said it, he hadn't even talked to Bisping yet. He didn't mention the dude's name, Antonio. He didn't say anything about the case. He just assumed what probably happened. So I understand how that's grounds to add Dana White to this fucking lawsuit if you didn't name him in the beginning. But it's happened. This is what the lawyers of the gentleman suing Michael Bisping had to say. They said, Dana White called my client a fucking meathead, a typical pussy. And I won't finish the rest of that. I will after this though. He said, and I won't finish the rest of that. Dana said that he should have shut his face in the first place and that he's a clown and a tough guy. I don't think Dana White has ever met my client, and if he did, he'd know those statements are completely false and his sole purpose is to tarnish his image. Dana White will also be held accountable for his false statements for not only allowing Bisping to engage in the conduct that is outlined in the complaint, but encouraging this kind of bullying behavior by Michael Bisping. Obviously, a business and organization starts from the top. You can see from Dana White all the way to Michael Bisping, they're bullies. They can say whatever they want and do whatever they want and get away with it. Damn, they make that shit sound good, don't they? Whew, holy fuck. After reading that, man, I might not be too sure. I mean, the thing is, I do think if they go to court, the UFC and Dana White and Michael Bisping and 24-Hour Fitness's lawyers are just probably that much better. They would probably be able to fight this. But I think the route that they usually take in these situations is just to settle, give the guy a little bit of money to go away, especially, you know, because you don't want this black eye on your business for all this to go through. And they're naming a lot of fucking people. So maybe they can put together a little fund to get this shit settled, because the way these lawyers frame these things, man, it makes it look bad. Now, I'll read Dana White's comments, and from Dana White's comments, whenever I hear him, it's like he doesn't even know what the fuck happened yet. But let me read those first. Alright, so Dana White, it was on Mike Swick's podcast. Mike Swick asked him, did you see some meathead got into an altercation with Bisping at the gym and is now trying to sue him? And this was Dana's response. I've got to talk to Bisping, but I'm sure that it's a typical pussy who opens his mouth at the gym and Bisping goes over, and I don't know what Bisping did to him, but now he wants to sue Bisping. You should have just shut your fucking mouth in the first place. It's fucking embarrassing. You're a clown. Guys like this are a fucking embarrassment. Now, whenever Dana White says that, he wasn't talking about the fucking Antonio guy. He didn't say his name one time at all. I mean, he said, whenever he said, you know, you should have shut your fucking mouth, you're a fucking embarrassment, you are a clown, he was saying guys that do that at the gym. The guys that Dana White was talking about. He said, I'm sure it's the typical pussy at the gym. So whenever Dana White's talking about a fucking embarrassment, he's talking about the typical pussy at the gym. Now, Dana White already said he has to talk to Bisping, so, I mean, the lawyers did make it sound good, though, because this is kind of tarnishing that guy's reputation. This does make headlines, but, I mean, tarnishing his reputation, I don't know how that works in the judge, you know, in the courtroom, if that's, you know, if the jurors or whatever the fuck happens, if they're going to see this shit. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, we're not going to figure it out here. It's going to go to a courtroom unless they settle. Michael Bisping's got the biggest fight of his fucking life coming up versus George St. Pierre. I know that. So, I don't know. I think he can probably keep this away from him, though. You know, his lawyers are probably dealing with it. I don't think Michael Bisping's having to show up for court and shit in the middle of training camp yet. It's just now popping back up. I mean, the guy said that he thought Michael Bisping was arrested for it, but when they looked back on the reports, Michael Bisping wasn't actually arrested. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this. It'll probably take a while to get through, but I do know Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre is literally fucking tomorrow, and it is what it is. It's going to be a great card. UFC 217, man. 3 title fights. Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas. Not to mention Jorge Gamebred Masvidal versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And then also on the main card, you've got Johny Hendricks versus Paulo Borrachinha. I've been hearing his name more, so I'm going to figure out how to pronounce this, like Borat. Okay, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you type in the comments. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.